Thank you very much indeed, Kevin. So warm welcome to all our listeners on 5 Sports Extra 2. We're live here at Molineux for the final day of the Premier League season, and the two sets of players emerge from the tunnel to our left-hand side. The flamethrowers go up in the air. The black and gold flags are flying in the Sir Jack Hayward stand. It's week 38 of the Premier League season, the final day. All the games across the country kicking off at 4 p.m, and we'll keep you right up to date with the goals faster than anyone else. So for Wolves, who are currently 14th, their highest finish in the division can be 14th. Their lowest, they can drop down to 17th. As for Brentford, they're currently 9th. They can climb as high as 8th, which might mean European football for the very first time for the side from West London. The lowest they can go is 12th. Alongside me is Matt Jarvis, once of this parish. Good afternoon, Matt. What are you thinking about this afternoon's game?
Good afternoon. Yes, really nice to be back here at Molineux Stadium. It's been a while since I've been here, so really nice to come back. But what am I expecting today? I think it's going to be, if you look at the team news, which I'm sure you'll come to in a second, it's a strong team for Wolves. You know, it's their last home game of the season. I think there might be a few farewells afterwards as well. So they're hoping to go out with a bang at Molineux. But for this Brentford team, they've been so good this season. You only have to look at the strike force of Visser and Mbema. They've been exceptional, so they'll be looking to just win the game and put themselves in with a chance of that European football.
Let's have a quick look at the team news then that Matt alluded to. Wolves manager Vitor Pereira, he makes 6 changes from the side that lost to Crystal Palace on Tuesday night in South East London by 4 goals to 2. It looks more like their first 11. Jose Sar's in goals. Matt Doherty, Emmanuel Agbadou and Totti Gomez make up the back 3. Semedo, Gomez, Andre and Ait Nouri into the midfield 4. Munetsi and Cunha will play behind Guedes. So the players to come in is the goalkeeper Sar, Doherty, Semedo, João Gomez, Marshall Munetsi and Mateus Cunha. And looking at that lineup, Matt, that looks more like Wolves' strongest 11.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if you look at maybe Strand Larsen, he's done exceptionally well this season with the goals he scored. But yes, that is their strongest team for me, I would say. And it is a good squad. It is. They've showed since the new managers come in. I think they've shown that togetherness, that team spirit, and I think it's shown in the performances and the results. But it is a good squad.
As for Brentford, Thomas Frank goes with the same 11 who lost last weekend at home to Fulham by 3 goals to 2. So Mark Flecken is in goals. They're back for Coyote, Collins, Vandenberg and Lewis Potter. In midfield we've got Norgard and Yarmolik, and then Mbumo, Damsgaard and Sade will play behind Wissa. So we're just about to have a moment's applause for the former Wolverhampton Wanderers goalkeeper Gary Pearce, who passed away aged 74. Gary helped the club lift the League Cup for the first time in 1974. That's Gary Pearce, former goalkeeper here at Molineux, part of the 1974 League Cup winning side. So we're all set then for this final Premier League game of the season here at Molineux. Wolves up against Brentford. Brentford, they're just on the verge of European football for the first time in their history. They need to win today. That's the most important part of the puzzle. They've got to hope Tottenham defeat Brighton at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and then Chelsea to go on and win the Conference League on Wednesday evening before they can celebrate the fact that they will have European football in West London for the very first time. So Brentford are about to get us off and underway. 5 Sports Extra 2 from the BBC. Premier League football on this Sunday afternoon, 4 o'clock kickoff, and it's Brentford who get us off and underway, attacking from left to right, if you know Molineux, attacking the Sir Jack Hayward stand in this 45 minutes. Both sides wearing their respective home kits. That means Wolves are in their famous black and gold, and a first touch for Cunha, but it's quickly stolen away from him by Collins, and Brentford just settling down in the shade down this near side, their right, in this first 45 minutes. It's Coyote on loan from Fiorentina, plays the ball back to his midfielder. It's Yarmolik, and Brentford just taking their time, being patient in their build-up, and Wolves won't mind this. Matt Jarvis, they like to play without the ball, and they like to spring on the counter-attack.
Absolutely, I was just about to say, you can see that the Wolves players just looking and waiting and biding their time for that one moment to start that press, and then they can counter, because as you say, they are so good at that. They want to have that counter-attack, go over the top, get in their shape, and then that's it.
Cleared away by Jose Sarr in his all pink goalkeeping outfit. So throwing right below us down on this near side for Brentford. Midway inside the Wolves half, attacking from left to right in this first 45 minutes. The visitors from West London. Brentford with the throw-in. It's Wolves 0, Brentford 0. Games are kicking off around the country. We'll keep you up to date with all the goals that go in. Lewis Potter with a crossfield ball from right to left, just on the edge of Wolves' penalty area. It's headed up by Agbadou, sent back into the penalty area. Agbadou once again underneath it, strains his neck muscles, gets it away 10 yards outside the penalty area. Now this is Mbeumo. Socks almost rolled down his calves towards his ankles, rolls it back 10 yards to Coyote in front of the Wolves manager. And now Norgard out to the left hand side. This is Damsgaard, stretches his legs, powers into the Wolves penalty area, quickly taken away from him by Doherty, does well, and now Semedo glides away from Damsgaard, approaches the halfway line, tries to pick out a Wolves player, does so in Munetsi, the Zimbabwean. Midway inside Brentford's half, over on that far right hand side in the sunshine. It is blustery around this part of the country. Munetsi and Cunha just swapping passes, and they've won their first corner of the afternoon. Wolves 0, Brentford 0.
Yeah, it's really good play by Semedo at the right back position. He's got the interception, but he's burst up the field and set the counter attack up, and it's just in the corner where Cunha, he plays a little ball out to the right hand side, and the cross that comes in just gets deflected, but a great opportunity now to get a set piece delivery.
It's Ait Nouri, the Algerian, who take control of this set piece. Left-footed, be a 3-yard run up. Here he comes, left-footed, low into the near post, cleared away by Mbeumo, only as far as João Gomez. Makes a bit of a mess of it, retrieves it at the second attempt, and now Semedo sends it from right to left. It's behind Guedes. Seems to have, I thought he pulled up holding the back of his right leg, which would have pointed to his hamstring. It seemed to might have just twisted his knee.
He did, yeah. The ball it went behind him, so he slipped. They've been watering the pitch just before the game, but he slipped, and he's just sort of flexing his knee just to make sure that he hasn't done any damage.
We're back underway. Keep an eye on Guedes. Seems to be okay at the moment. This is Sharda, miscontrol. The ball runs out of play. It's a throw-in for Wolves in their left full-back area. They've had a recent sticky patch, let's say, Matt. Lost their last 3. Previous to that, they were unbeaten in 7. That took them away from the relegation scrap, really. And since then, I'm not so sure if it's fair to say or not, but they seem to have switched off.
Yeah, I think you can say that with a lot of things. I mean, we spoke off air about with Liverpool, winning the league, and then it's a mentality shift. And I think these Wolves players know that it was an incredible 6 games, 6 wins, was just a fantastic bit of teamwork, and then after that you know that you're safe, mathematically you're safe, and you sort of do just switch off a little bit.
Brentford win possession back. Central area of the pitch inside their own half. Now they come over the halfway line in the shape of Mbeumo. Tries to pick out Damsgaard. It's over hit forward ball, and Sarr comes to collect on the right side of his penalty area. No goals so far across the country in the Premier League, all 10 games, as is the norm now on the final day, kicking off at the same time, which is 4 p.m. on this final Sunday of the Premier League season. The title's been decided, the relegation places have been decided. We've got Liverpool and Arsenal who've already booked their place in the Champions League. Another 3 clubs will join them. There is a potential 8th place spot up for grabs to play in Europe next season, and that's where Brentford's hopes lie, between them and Brighton and Bournemouth. Brentford have to win, and they come forward with Collins now out to Lewis Potter, and it's slightly once again overhit, and I think that's typified the opening 6 minutes here at Molineux, Matt.
It's a bit a dreadful pass there. It's a 5-yard pass just to the side, and he's just knocked it out of play, but it does seem a little bit lacklustre at the start of this game. Wolves,
as I mentioned, just ahead of kick-off. They're currently 14th. Their highest they can finish is 14th. The lowest they can drop all the way down to 17th, which is just above the relegation places. But we know those 3 clubs were relegated quite a while ago: Southampton, Leicester and Ipswich. Lots of change, I think, will occur here at Molineux during the summer. There'll be lots of change around the Premier League. This is Cunha, one of those players who looks to be heading out of the exit door. He had a snapshot from just outside the penalty area, but drifted way wide of the far post, and it's a goal kick to Brentford. Wolves 0, Brentford 0.
Yeah, you just on that edge of the box when Cunha, he just finds space in between the lines, and he had a really good first touch. He was just sort of scamping after it to get that shot, and he's just snapped at it, and it's gone left of the post. But he just picks up really good positions in and around the edge of the box, where he likes to receive the ball on the half turn, and he looks to get his shot away.
Fleckham with the goal kick. He's making his 37th appearance of the season, made 37 appearances for Brentford last time out as well, last campaign, just missed the one. And this is Gomez, nice trick by him, put the ball through the legs of Norgard, runs through the centre circle, now on to Ait Nouri just outside the penalty area. Nice 1-2 between him and Cunha, heads towards the dead ball line, then stops, rolls it back to Cunha, wants to go on his right footed, he whips it, takes a deflection from our angle, looked like it was going on target, but took a big ricochet into the hands of Mark Flecken in all light blue.
Yeah, Gomez in the middle of the pitch, his lovely little flick right in the centre circle, burst forward, and it's Ait Nouri who cuts it back to Cunha, as we mentioned, loves to find that space, but deflective shot.
Totti Gomez with an error, presented the ball back to Brentford, and Damsgaard thought Mbeumo was going to continue to make his run on the right and played it forward to no one except Jose Sarr.
Yeah, the pass was to the left to Shade. He just picked the wrong option. He got himself in a really good position. He was driving right at the heart of the Wolves defence. He just had to play the ball out to this left-hand side, but got it all wrong.
Still no goals across the country. No goals here at Molineux. This is Premier League football on BBC 5 Sports Extra 2 on 5 Live. You can listen to Nottingham Forest against Chelsea. That is a pure and simply put a Champions League qualification game. On 5 Sports Extra you can find Liverpool against Crystal Palace, and we're on 5 Sports Extra 2 where currently we're approaching the 10-minute mark, and it's Wolverhampton Wanderers 0, Brentford 0. Game just settling down. Nice touch once again by Cunha inside his own half, drifts the ball to the right hand side to Semedo. He's got the captain's armband, fixed firmly across his left bicep. Now to Guedes, just outside the penalty area, pokes it to the right, goes down Guedes outside the area. Play continues. Semedo's 2 yards away from the dead ball line. Back to Doherty he goes. Now to Guedes. This is all going on just in Brentford's left full-back area. 5 yards away from the dead ball line. Semedo with a cross. Cunha with a header. Comfortable for Flecken. It's still 0-0.
Really good play by Wolves. Done this right underneath us. Little 1-2 for Cunha out to the right-hand side. And then it's eventually to Semedo on the right-hand side against Lewis Potter. Little shift to his right. Puts a good cross in. Cunha gets the header. Just couldn't get the power and direction really. And a comfortable save.
Crystal Palace have taken the lead at Anfield. Ismail Sarr with the goal. Liverpool 0, Crystal Palace 1. That's a dress rehearsal for the curtain raiser for the Community Shield in August. So Sarr with the goal at Anfield. 0-0 here at Molineux. Premier League football on 5 Sports Extra 2 from the BBC. Wolves at the moment, I'd say in the last few minutes, Matt, just having the ascendancy.
Yeah, they've had quite a few good touches in and around the middle of the pitch where they've either got away from the Brentford players, and Cunha's find himself in a little bit of space in between the lines, and they've had a couple of shots on goal, so now it's an opportunity to get a ball in the box again.
Semedo tries to flick it over the head of Damsgaard, and Mbeumo helps out Damsgaard. Cunha and Mbeumo going shoulder to shoulder. It's a throw in for Wolves, taken quickly to Ait Nouri, 5 yards away from the dead ball line. Good fizzing cross, came off the head of Guedes but spun away, and it's a goal kick. Nice cross from Ait Nouri onto the head of Guedes. Did get the power, the connection, but not the direction. It's a goal kick to the visitors. Still Wolves 0, Brentford 0.
Yeah, quick thinking again from Cunha on this. He left hand side, picked the ball up really quickly, played in Ait Nouri down the left hand side with a quick throw, and you can see the quality that Ait Nouri's got on this left hand side. It's a great left foot, really whipped in, good height. It just couldn't, I think it was Guedes, couldn't get the direction. He managed to get his head on the ball but not the direction. But good play from Wolves in this opening 15 minutes.
Ball went back to front very quickly there.
Good old-fashioned old school boot up the front from the goalkeeper.
Nearly caught me off guard, to be honest with you. I was looking down at my video printer for the latest scores, and all of a sudden I looked up and Jose Sarr was there in his all pink. But this is Wolves coming forward with Menezzi. He's all on his own. Right-footed shot, but drags it horribly wide. It's a goal kick at the end. No, it's not. It's a throw-in. Has the ball gone out to play? Yeah. Yes, it has. It's a goal kick for Brentford. But to be fair to Menezzi, I think he was looking up and to his left for hoping he saw another black, a gold jersey. Wanted to play the ball square. So saw no one there and thought, I'll have a go.
Yeah, absolutely, and he's right to have a go. He needs to hit the target from there. That's the only thing I can give him. You know, he's got played in, showed great pace, great power to get to the ball in the first place, but then just compose yourself and try and hit the target. He's dragged it past the post because there was no one else in a Wolves shirt coming close.
That's the voice of Matt Jarvis. Matt Jarvis alongside me, former Wolves winger. Played here at Molineux for 6 seasons. I'm watching at the moment Wolves 0, Brentford 0. Totti goes back to Agbadou. Agbadou takes his time. He's got a plaster cast wrapped around his right wrist. Made a really good impression since he joined the club this year in January from the French Ligue 1. This is Semedo approaching the penalty area. Left-footed effort, low down to Flecken's left-hand side. It was comfortable in the end for the Holland goalkeeper. Flecken took the effort. Semedo once again didn't generate enough power. Still 0-0, Matt.
No, I just thought if this was going to be his last game for Wolves, it was going to be a great way to sign off. Lewis Potter got underneath the ball. Semedo controlled it with his chest, burst in, cut inside on his left foot, but the power wasn't quite there, and the accuracy very easy for the goalkeeper, but great chance.
Yeah, 14 minutes play, still awaiting the first goal of the afternoon between these two sides. They shared 8 goals at the G-Tech earlier on. Brentford running out winners in October by 5 goals to 3. You've had your season tickets worth at the G-Tech this year. You've seen some games and some goals flying in. We've just got a stoppage at the moment. It's Lewis Potter who's gone down.
Yeah, I think I've just seen on it wasn't from attack or anything. He's running and he's tried to just move the ball, like cut it from the right to left, and his foot's just sort of given way, and he's crashed into Doherty, but it wasn't a free kick.
It's a throw in, and the ball did run out of play, so Coyote is this long throw-in specialist at Brentford.
I was going to say, I hope it is a long throw because there's no one anywhere near the front of the box.
He's level with the edge of the penalty on the left-hand side. Here it comes towards the edge of 6-yard box. It got a touch to it. It was Van den Berg, but it drifted into the arms of Jose Sarr. Tries to get the counter-attack underway, but well defended by Mbeumo.
Really good defending. Really good defending. As a winger, when you're on the edge of the box and that keeper catches and you know you have to run back, it's a horrible feeling. So he's done extremely well to sprint back, head down, and get just in front of Aït-Nouri. So very good defending by Mbeumo.
Coyote into Norgard and now onto Damsgaard on the arc of the centre circle inside Wolves half, and on the left hand side it goes to Sharda. He's had a good couple of weeks, Kevin Sharda. Found the net in 4 times in the last 4 games. Cross came in, punched away by Sarr. Now Mbeumo onto the head of Wissa, but Agbadou got there first and directed it back to Sarr. And the Portuguese goalkeeper really animated, not happy with what is going on in front of him. Still 0-0.
No, well, I think there it's his frustration because he's got to have done a big shout there. For Aït-Nouri's gone to win the header, he's on his own, no one around him. He's got to shout and scream to get the ball, and whether he did and Aït-Nouri didn't hear him, but then it's the frustration after that to then grab the ball, and everyone always shout at the players, the goalkeepers do.
Got a lone gold balloon just making its way towards the Wolves penalty area. Wolves have possession with João Gomez inside the centre circle, just crept over the halfway line. Tote Gomez tries to play it down this inside left channel, intercepted by Van den Berg. It's played out of play, throw-in taken quickly, back to João Gomez it goes, infield. Cunha first time out to Semedo. Doherty on the outside of him. Semedo just ambles forward midway inside Brentford's half. Still goalless here between Wolves and Brentford on the final day of the Premier League season. Cunha loses possession and Brentford tried to get the counter-attack underway. Good interception by Totti Gomez. And now Guedes on to Aït-Nouri. Plays it infield. Cunha. This is all one-touch football by Wolves on the edge of Brentford's penalty area. Guedes shaped across. Finds Aït-Nouri. Now short and square to Guedes. He looked like he was going to shoot. Nice 1-2 between him and Cunha. Then it's finally snuffed out by Coyote.
Yeah, it's the good interchange in around the box, but it's just trying to get that little bit of space to get a shot away. They just got crowded out in the end by the Brentford defence. But it's looking like one of them that it is Brentford that are trying to get hold of the ball, but Wolves are getting much more of the better chances in the attacking third.
And they pressed Brentford from playing it out from the back. They've won a throw-in, level with the edge of the penalty area down this near left-hand side. If you're just joining us, this is Premier League football on 5 Sports Extra 2 from the BBC. Wolves 0, Brentford 0. Wolves are attacking from right to left in the direction of the Stan Cullis stand, if you know Molineux. And Tottenham have taken the lead at home to Brighton. Dominic Solanke from the penalty spot. So it's Tottenham 1, Brighton 0. It's given away. This is Wissa. Sade running on the outside of him. Damsgaard's to his right. Wissa ignores both. Now he finds Sade. Sade tracks back onto his right foot. Shoots right-footed, but low towards Jose Sarr. Sarr took it right in front of his kneecaps. Good positioning from the goalkeeper, Matt Jarvis. They've given it away. Beg your pardon. Wissa inside the penalty. Wants to get it on his right foot. Drags his effort. Falls to Mbeumo, and he opens the scoring. Just as Tottenham open the scoring at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, Brentford have opened the scoring here, and that means they're currently 8th, and that could quite possibly mean European football. They lead against Wolves by a goal to 0.
In the end, it's a really good finish by Mbeumo on his right foot, cut back from by Sharda, but terrible defending by Wolves. They've given the ball away so cheaply in the middle of the pitch, under no pressure at all, give the ball away, and that's when they get the attack, and then they win it back, and it's a quick 1-2 on the edge of the box, and Aït-Nouri gets the ball taken off him, and then really good play. Visser tries to shot to start with, it gets blocked, and it just drops to Shada on this right hand side, who cuts it back to Mbeumo, and it's an easy finish on his right foot from there. But what are you doing on the edge of the box, Aït-Nouri, to try and take players on there? It's a really, really poor mistake.
And that's his 20th Premier League goal of the season.
Yeah, what an exceptional season he's had. Like the goals and assist contributions he's had, I think he's got 7 assists as well. Incredible season, but this will be one of his easier ones. It's just been cut back onto his right hand side, and he just puts it into an empty net. 1-0 Brentford.
It swung their way in the last few minutes around the country. They need to win today, Brentford, and they've got to hope Tottenham do them a favour in North London, and at the moment for Brentford it's falling into their laps. If they finish 8th and Chelsea go on to win the Europa Conference League against Real Betis on Wednesday evening, that would signal European football for the very first time in West London. And Wissa comes short to collect just in front of the arc of the centre circle. Good challenge by Munetsi, and the black and gold of Wolves win possession back. So it's Wolves 0, Brentford 1, Matt.
He's been another top player for Brentford, Wissa. His goals, but his work rate and the way he links up the play, a bit like Mateta has at Crystal Palace. He links up the play. Him and Mbeumo have a really good relationship, but it's not just that, it's his goals and what he does for the team. Just holds the ball up, gets players into positions up the pitch, and then you've got runners, and that's exactly what they've got in their team.
So it's goalless everywhere else in the country in the Premier League, apart from Liverpool 0, Crystal Palace 1, Tottenham 1, Brighton 0. Manchester City have just scored at Craven Cottage, so it's Fulham 0, Manchester City 1. The goal scorer Gundogan with the goal, and here as well it's Wolves 0, Brentford 1. But Wolves have a free kick down this near side, the left, a couple of yards in from the touchline. It's Cunha who'll take it right footed, glides it into the far post. It's headed away off a Wolves player, and now this is Damsgaard, but Cunha comes in with a sliding challenge, stops Damsgaard in his tracks. Sarr comes way outside of his penalty area, almost approaching the midway point of his own half. A little trick from here, found Semedo. Fortunate in the end, Matt.
Yeah, I don't think he would really wanted to do that, but he's got away with it. It doesn't look really comfortable outside of his box, but he did well there.
Flicked on by Munetsi, intercepted by Collins. Van den Berg's there to his right, and that was a needless push really by Munetsi. If I was his manager, I'd be pulling my hair out, because the defender's not going anywhere there. 5 yards away from the dead ball line, deep in his own right full-back area. You just need to be there on his presence, but he pushed him needlessly, gave the free kick away. Yeah,
really disappointing, because Aït-Nouri was up with him as well, I think, and now he was going to press the goalkeeper, so there was nowhere for him to go. That's just the easy option for him to he got a touch, goes down, takes the pressure off. Brentford get your free kick in, everyone gets up the pitch. It's just another area that you just need to improve, that little bit of thinking, the mentality. Maybe he's desperate to win the ball back, but you've just got to be a little bit more patient than that.
Free kick's been taken. It's Totti Gomez with the header, loops up. Brentford win the second ball midway inside Wolves' half. On this right hand side, they play it back to the halfway line where Collins finds himself. Both centre halves for Brentford, 6'4" real presence. Rolls it back to the all light blue of his goalkeeper Mark Flecken. Wind has just picked up around Molineux, sunshine has disappeared, and it's the Brentford supporters who are in good voice at the moment. Wolves 0, Brentford 1, 24 minutes played. 5 Sports Extra 2 from the BBC. Brentford have given it away. Now it's Cunha, wanted to go to his left, and then it was just stolen away from him by Yarmouk. Ball's launched forward. Totti Gomez comes back, wins the challenge with Mbeumo. Vitor Pereira, the Wolves manager, on the edge of his technical area, wants a free kick, and João Gomes has been fouled by Yarmouk. Referee Craig Pawson awarding a free kick to Wolves.
Game's got very scrappy in the last few minutes. Brentford giving the ball away on the edge of their box, really scrappy pass, and then it's Wolves again up this end. Brentford have been trying to get their foot on the ball and play, but it's not been working in their own half. They're much better when the ball goes into the opposing half. They win the second balls and then they're ready for attack, and that's where they got their goal from. Wolves are exactly the same, so it's a bit of a mismatch, and both teams don't really want to have possession. They want to have the counter attack, and it's showing, unfortunately.
Right, I'm just about to read exactly what's going to happen.
Go on,
Matt, because I've got it up, because it's so tricky. It says, right, so we know Brentford have to win, which they're doing. Tottenham have to do them a favour, which they're doing at home to Brighton. So then the best hope for European football, the team who finish 8th, is if Chelsea lose at Nottingham Forest and Aston Villa avoid defeat at Manchester United, then the fate of Brentford would then depend on whether Chelsea beat Real Betis on Wednesday.
So there's only a few things.
Yeah, exactly. and it doesn't finish today. That's the annoying thing, I think, really,
Wednesday night,
on a Brentford perspective, because they're doing their part. Tottenham are doing them a favour, but they won't know till Wednesday. But anyway, this is Damsgaard on the edge of the penalty, tries to pick out, and Mbeumo Aït-Nouri came back goal side, slices his clearance, right-footed. Schade allows the ball to run across his body, and then is fouled by Semedo. I'm not sure that's fair, really. I'm not sure how much Semedo could do about that, but it's a free kick for Brentford in front of their supporters, opposite from where Matt and I are watching this game, and it's a free kick 5 yards in from the touchline.
Yeah, but I'm going back to what we were saying about on the last day, but you shouldn't have to, if you're really, you should get your work done before the end of the season. That Brentford, all they can do is win the game, which is what they're doing. They can't control anything else. They have to win. They're doing their part. Now, you'll have to wait and see. But for here, it's another set piece. And Mbeumo on the left-hand side with left foot cross in. And they've got some, as you mentioned, about the size of the defenders. They've got a lot of height in the box here.
Yeah, Collins and Van den Berg are there. The defensive lines by the penalty spot. Here it comes, left-footed from the left-hand side, but taken comfortably by the 6'4" Jose Sarr. A few legs flying in the penalty area, a few elbows as well, and they all came from the Portuguese goalkeeper.
Yeah, the goalkeeper, he's very animated, is Jose Sarr, and he caught the ball and he's trying his best to get away from the Brentford defenders to try and start an attack, and there was two of them. I think he's dropped one ball on top of one of those heads, he's bounced into the other one, and he's not tried to kick out, but tried to just brush them off, I suppose. He's got himself a free kick, but it's all a bit of nothing.
So we'll constantly keep you up to date with the scores around the country in the Premier League, and also this tussle for 8th place between Brighton and Brentford. 28 minutes played, it's Wolves 0, Brentford 1, and Mbeumo with the goal after 20 minutes, his 20th of the season for Brentford. It's his best ever season in the colours of Brentford. Totti Gomez just poked the ball through the legs of Mbeumo, and Mbeumo and Wissa were both lurking. Well defended in the end by the Wolves left back stroke third centre half, and Wolves have possession over the halfway line. João Gomes on to Cunha on the right hand side. Cunha now to João Gomes, 2 yards away from the dead ball line. Curling cross headed powerfully away by Collins. No nonsense defending. It's a throw in for Wolves.
Yeah, we mentioned about the Brentford defenders. There's Collins this time, but a ball come into the box. There's only Guedes really in the box, and when the ball crosses is coming in, it's going to take an awful lot of a good leap and a great header to win anything there, because the two Brentford centre halves are 6'3", 6'4". They're going to win everything in the air here.
This is Cunha, centre of the pitch, on his right foot, shapes to shoot, tests Flecken really well. Flecken equal to it, flopped down to his left hand side, it bounced awkwardly in front of him, but he took it really well, didn't spill it. Good goalkeeping from the Brentford number 1, and it's still Wolves 0, Brentford 1, and that's the class of Mateus Cunha, Matt Jarvis.
Yeah, it is, but he's the player that it's looked anything that Wolves come forward, it looks like it's going to come from him, and he collects that ball on the edge of the box, and he's always looking to run. He's always looking to get a shot away, and he's cut back in on his favoured right foot, and it's a good strike. It's not quite going to beat the keeper. It's a comfortable save in the end, but it's the areas that he gets himself in, and he's able to always get himself a shot away, and he's got the qualities there to put it into the back of the net, and that's why potentially this could be his last game for Wolves.
He's just won a corner kick as well. Wanted to take it quickly. The assistant referee didn't allow him to do so. Here he comes right-footed from the far side to Aït-Nouri. Controls on his chest on the edge of the penalty area. Pokes it to his left to Guedes. Guedes with his head down tries to dig out a cross. It's deflected off Coyote, and it's a throw-in for Wolves, which they take quickly, trailing at home to Brentford by a goal to nil. Totti Gomez now midway inside Brentford's half, plays the ball in field to Andre. First time I've mentioned his name all afternoon. Flicks it out to the right hand side to Cunha. Controls first time, 5 yards away from the dead ball line. Tries to play it through the legs of Norgard. Doesn't manage to do so. Sade picks up, runs away from the edge of the penalty area. Tackle fairly, says the referee Paulson. Points to the ball. João Gomes now plays it short and square onto Andre on the arc of the centre circle inside his own half. Threads the ball forward to Menezzi. Try to help it on to Cunha. It's defended well by Brentford, and Lewis Potter gets away with one. Try to poke the ball forward to Norgard. Came off the legs of Munetsi, and now it's a goal kick for Brentford, who lead Wolves by a goal to nil, Matt.
Yeah, Lewis Potter's just hurt himself there. I think he's just got collided with Munetsi, but it is just that little bit scrappy. Gomez in the middle of the park for Wolves. He's done it all season. He's been sensational in that role where he just seems to sniff out the danger. He's great on the ball, and he's won the ball back again in the middle of the park to set another Wolves counter-attack. But it's scrappy. The parts that come with a bit of quality is when Brentford got their goal, or Cunha's had that shot from the edge of the box. There is a little bit of lack of quality.
You really notice when Cunha gets the ball for Wolves as well. I've been impressed with João Gomes as well, but it just needs a bit of composure and a bit of calmness from Wolves. Brentford will be happy. They're leading through that Brian Mbeumo goal to nil. Tottenham are doing them a favour as well, leading at home to Brighton through a Dominic Solanke penalty. This is Lewis Potter marching up on the left hand side in the penalty area, going one way then another. A few step overs. It's taken away from him by Agbadou. I think you'll hear a lot more from this centre half next season. If he continues the way he's doing, there'll be the bigger so-called clubs, Matt, circling him this time next year, I am sure.
Yeah, he's done well since he's come in. He's really shored up the defence. It's exactly what he needed to do, because it was leaking goals everywhere, but he's done incredibly well. But you can see a couple of times already, not through him, but Wolves, every time they win the ball back inside their box, they try to do that first time pass up the pitch to a Guedes, to a Menezzi or a Cunha, to just try and get that first ball away, and they keep giving the ball away, and it's back at them, and it's on the edge of their box. It's, get hold of the ball and make sure you don't give it away the first time of asking.
Damsgaard on to Lewis Potter, first time cross from the left hand side onto the head of Sade. Once again, I've said this a few times in commentary, got the direction but didn't generate the power. He was at the near post and just steered it into the mid-drift, into the central area of his stomach of Jose Sarr. Comfortable for the Wolves goalkeeper. Still Wolves 0, Brentford 1. Wolves trying to play it out from the back. Totti Gomez lifts it down this near side in front of his manager. Aït-Nouri with his back to the halfway line now turns, tries to get the better of Coyote, wins a throw-in, Matt.
Yeah, it's a good battle down there with them two, because both want to get on the ball, both want to have a little bit of a touch tight, so holding the player each of them so they can feel where they are, and it's become a good battle between the two of them.
So in the as it stands live Premier League table, Liverpool we know first, Arsenal second, Manchester City currently third on 71 points. Newcastle and Chelsea make up the other two positions of Champions League football. Aston Villa will be sixth, which will mean Europa League football, and Nottingham Forest 7th, and Brentford currently above Brighton into 8th, which could be Europa Conference League football. Collins goes down very dramatically, but the referee agrees, and it's the first booking of the afternoon from a tackle from behind by João Gomes.
Yeah, it was. You could see he was desperate to make the challenge as well, Gomes. He's thought about it once or twice just before when Collins was striding forward, but it was the last one. He's not caught him much. It wasn't a malicious challenge, but he has caught him. It is a yellow card, and it's another opportunity for Brentford to get ball into the box with their tall, powerful centre halves into the box now.
So Damsgaard will take control of this free kick. This is 5 Sports Extra 2 from the BBC. Over on 5 Live you can listen to Nottingham Forest versus Chelsea. Commentary team there is Ian Dennis and Paul Robinson. On Sports Extra is Liverpool, Crystal Palace, and Chris Coles and Stephen Warnock is your commentary team there. Here, Wolves 0, Brentford 1. Free kick taken. Joseph Sarr really brave. He could feel almost the breadth of Nathan Collins on his shoulder. He took that really well. You can feel it now on his right shoulder. Referee allows play to continue. Brave goalkeeping.
Yeah, but Brentford have done it a number of times now. Put the ball right under Sarr, and they've had Collins this time coming, and he's wiped him out. It's really good, strong goalkeeping. Caught it, didn't try and punch it, kept hold of the ball, and just got wiped out.
10 minutes to play in the first half. Wolves trailing at home to Brentford by a 1-0. Final day of the Premier League season. Cunha dispossessed. Through ball by Damsgaard to Wissa. It's Wissa versus Agbadou. Inside the penalty on the left hand side. Wants to go on his right foot. Finds Lewis Potter. Is this 2? Oh, he lifts it over the top onto the roof of the net. The flag didn't go up. Might have been offside, but it's a goal kick. And Wolves get away with one. Still they trail by a 0-0. Matt.
Really good play by Brentford on the counter. Set Wissa away on the far left hand side. He's one-on-one, he cuts inside, puts a delightful little ball in for Lewis Potter, who's slams on the brakes, gets hold of it, sees Sarr coming off his line, so he tries to dink it over with his left foot, just puts a tiny bit too much on it and lands on top of the roof of the net. But really, really electric counter-attack by this Brentford side with Wissa and Lewis Potter.
Good through ball by Mikael Damsgaard. Picked out Wissa. And Lewis Potter couldn't finish to make it his second Premier League goal of the season. Score remains Wolves 0, Brentford 1. And now Damsgaard rolls it onto Yarmolik, and he plays it short and square to his left hand side onto Sharda, just outside the penalty on the left hand side. Wants to get on his right foot, clips a cross in to the far post, and it's a goal kick as it trickles out of play into the Sir Jack Hayward stand. Goal kick to Wolves. It's still there. Wolves 0, Brentford 1. Just run through the latest scores for you now. Bournemouth 0, Leicester 0, Ipswich 0, West Ham 0, Manchester United, Aston Villa and Newcastle and Everton still scoreless. Nottingham Forest 0, Chelsea 0, Southampton and Arsenal is goalless. Tottenham leading Brighton by a 0-0. Liverpool trailing at home to Crystal Palace by a 0-0. Fulham 0, Manchester City 1. And here on 5 Sports Extra 2, it's Wolves 0, Brentford 1. And we have 7 minutes of the first half to play. And Matt, do you think the scoreline reflects what we've seen? Brentford deserve the lead?
They've had a couple of really good opportunities, so in that essence, yes. I think it's been quite scrappy. The chances haven't been particularly brilliant quality, but the few options that they've had, the goal it come from really poor defensive from Aït-Nouri getting caught on the edge of the box by Wolves is their own downfall, but then really good play by Sharda to cut it back to Mbeumo, and that's really all Mbeumo's been involved in today. He's just been really effective this season with his goals and his assists, but he hasn't been involved much in this game apart from that one chance, which as a Brentford fan, that's all you want, him to be involved and get the goal.
Nice 1-2 between him and Damsgaard. Tote Gomez comes in and intercepts, goes over the halfway line, down this near side, the left for Wolves. They're attacking from right to left in this first half in the direction of the stand, Cullis stand. It's Andre who just stops inside the centre circle, plays the ball down to this near left hand side. João Gomez gets it back from Totti Gomez, and now Agbadou under a slight bit of pressure from Damsgaard, picks out Guedes. He runs out of space but gets a flick off Lewis Potter, wins a throw-in front of the Brentford supporters, right opposite from where Matt and I are watching this game for 5 Sports Extra from the BBC. 5 Sports Extra 2, I should say, all via the BBC Sounds app. You can find 5 Live there, Sports Extra 2 and 3. A multitude of events and live sport from BBC Radio. Guedes, midway inside the Brentford half, down the right hand side. Semedo advances the ball 10 yards further. Guedes gets the better of Shardo. Shardo does really well, tracks back. Nice sliding challenge from him. 5 yards away from the dead ball line. Semedo wins out, just pushes him onto the floor. Munetsi into Aitnouri. Aitnouri does well inside the penalty area. Sends it off for Cunha with a right-footed volley, but straight at Flecken. Decent work by Aitnouri, and not a bad hit from Matthias Cunha, but comfortable in the end for Mark Flecken. Still Wolves 0, Brentford 1.
Yeah, it's a really difficult technique that for Cunha. Aitnouri's flicked it back over. I think it was Damsgaard in the middle of the box. He's flicked it over him, so it's one of them looping ones, and you have to sort of try and get your feet to go through the ball, so you see it all the way down onto your foot, and it's that looping volley. He struck it really nicely, but right in the heart of the goalkeeper, right into Flecken's arms. But good strike.
Brentford stop Wolves from attacking again, and they play it to the right hand side, and Boomer now tries to flick it into Wissa. Bit too much on that forward ball. Really good front two they've got now, almost a 3 with Shard. He's really contributed to the goals this season. You're nodding as well, Matt, because he's got 11 in the Premier League. Sharda, Wissa's got 19, and Boomer's now got 20.
Yeah, fantastic front three. If you look at that, I think Sharda's done exceptionally well, sort of maybe not under the radar for Brentford supporters, but for the rest of the Premier League, I think he's really come under the radar. And you say what the stats on his, what was it, 11 goals, 2 assists, but what his work rate into that midfield as well, chasing back.
This is Cunha now, Aitnouri. They almost tiptoed their way through the Brentford defence until they approached the penalty area. Finally, Brentford snuffed them out. Damsgaard's done really well, picked out Wissa. He sends it over the top. Tote Gomez defending back, and Boomer was lurking. Agbadu, very calm and composed, just plays it to his right-hand side to Doherty. Switches play to Andre. Matt.
Yeah, it's good defending. They're so strong, Totti there at the back with Mbuma, but it's down this left-hand side now. Guedes trying to take on, to try and go inside to Andre,
who sets it right-footed. Over the top it goes. He looked at the goal. He had a bit of space in front of him. No one was closing him down. That was surprising, so he thought he'd have a pop, and it was a decent try, but always rising over the top. And it's a goal kick for Brentford. Wolves 0, Brentford 1.
Yeah, he's got to hit the target there. Everything opened up to him. He's laid the ball back to him. He's had a touch. No one's come out to him. He's just on the edge of the box. He's gone for power rather than placement, and he's just put too much on it, leaned back a little bit, and it's gone over the top there. He's got to hit the target. He's got to make Flecken work, because he's got a free shot at goal from the edge of the box.
Still only 4 goals scored across the 10 games that have all kicked off at 4 p.m. on the final day of the Premier League season. We've seen one here. Are we about to see a second? It was Wissa who tried to control it. It didn't run kindly for Sharda. Defended by the Wolves back three. Aitnouri tries to escape the attention of Coyote. Still inside his own penalty area. Now to Totti Gomez. They play it between them. And now down to this near side to João Gomes. Level with the edge of his own penalty area. Deep inside his own left full back area. It's clipped down this inside left channel. Flicked on by Cunha, headed away by Collins. Andre tries to find João Gomes, won back by the red and white striped shirts of Brentford. Wissa controls. Wissa with a second effort. That was a lovely control and a poke towards goal, neatly saved by Jose Sarr, and Brentford still lead Wolves here at Molineux by a 0-0. Matt Jarvis.
Yeah, fantastic save by Jose Sarr. Really good play by Brentford. A delightful ball over the top to Wissa, who controls it magnificently over his shoulder, and then he's just tried to flick it with the outside of his foot into the far corner, but Jose Sarr with a really good save.
Arsenal are into the lead at St Mary's. Southampton 0, Arsenal 1. Tierney with the goal at, I was just about to say the Dow. Why was I going to say that? That closed down years ago. Ipswich are trailing at home to West Ham by a 0-0. Ward-Prowse with the goal 2 minutes before half-time. So now the goals are starting to trickle in across the country as we head to the end of the first 45 minutes here at Molineux. We've got 30 seconds of normal time to play, and whatever the referee Craig Pawson seems fit enough to add on. Lewis Potter with the ball in field, given away. Cunha has it, checks his shoulders inside the centre circle, over the halfway line, right of the centre circle, pokes it forward to Manetzi, wants it back, but Mbuma was tracking the run of Cunha, given away by Brentford. Now to the gold and black of Wolves, central area of the pitch. They're trailing here at home to Brentford by a 1-0. The fourth official tells us we're going to have 60 seconds of stoppage time. That means a minute. Ait Nouri back to Totti Gomez, and now Brentford with every single player behind the ball getting back into their shape.
Yeah, just a bit flat. You know, whenever there's the attack sort of broken down, it then goes back, and then there's just that pause and waiting in play, and there's not really any urgency in any of the attacking threat. Once Brentford get behind the ball, it then just goes back to Wolves, back to Totti, back to Jose Sarr, and then they try and build slowly again. It's just a bit lacklustre.
That's the voice of Matt Jarvis. Played here for Wolves, over 175 appearances, 21 goals in all competitions. This is Semedo, right-footed, pushed away by Flecken. That's the first time I'd really say that Flecken has been tested. There's been numerous shots at goal, and he's saved most of them, but it's the first time he had to stretch and turn the ball around the post. It's a corner for Wolves on the stroke of half-time.
Yeah, Andre this time plays it inside, and he's fired it into Semedo, he's had a really good touch with his right foot. He's set himself up, and it was on the volley, and it's one that you cut across it. It's started in the middle of the goal, and it's drifted out to the right-hand the far post, and Flecken's made a really good save.
Cunha with the free kick, taken
Poor.
In front of his face, in
Really
front
poor.
of the near post. And Matt, that wasn't what you expect from Matheus Cunha at half-time. It's set Wolves 0, Brentford 1.
No, it's that opportunity from a set piece, you know, a corner kick. We've had a couple of them this half, where Ait Nouri had one early on, it hit the first man. Cunha's had this one straight into the keeper's arms. These are real opportunities for a Wolves team that have some big lads in the middle of the pitch as well, to get on the end of a cross, and it's just straight into the keeper or hit the first man. You're not giving them an opportunity to go and get on the end of the header. So disappointing there at the end of the first half, but it's been a bit of a scrappy first half. Brentford, yes, deserved. They probably should have been 2-0 up. I saw the replay about that Visser chance, and it's a really good save from Sarr. Great touch from Visser over his shoulder, flicked it back in over the top of him, and then really caught the strike with his right foot. Tried to get it into the other side of the goal, but great save by Sarr. So on evidence of that, I'd probably say that Brentford probably deserved that 1-0 lead.
It's bubbling up nicely, isn't it? Because both sides have had their moments, both sides have had chances, goalkeepers have been busy. I feel the second half could be quite entertaining.
Well, I think if it stays like this for the first 20 minutes, Brentford will then start thinking no, because they've got to hold on, they've got to win this game if they've got any hope of European football. So they'll start getting a little bit shaky, and if Wolves can press, they've had chances, like Cunha's on the edge of the box, got himself into some really good positions. He's had a couple of strikes go all sort of where Flecken's had an opportunity to save them, and Semedo's his strike at the end of the half there, that was the best opportunity that the Wolves had, and it's a really good save by Flecken.
Thank you very much, Matt, for the first 45 minutes. So far so good for Brentford. They need to win, and they hope Tottenham do them a favour. And in North London, Tottenham it's half-time there, Tottenham 1, Brighton 0, and here half-time at Molineux, Wolves 0, Brentford 1. We'll be back in about 10 minutes time.
The box at the back post, launched himself at a cross from the right with an overhead kick. He scored. Not bad for a 34-year-old. City dominated to that point. Fulham had the chances though. Wilson denied by Edison twice. Kearney's curled one wide, and Pereira's put one into the side netting. Mark, I'll leave you with this for now. No side has come from behind at half-time to win more games than Fulham this season. 5. Fulham 0, Man City 1.
Thank you very much. Is it nervy at St James's Park? Julia Bold. Well, it is Newcastle 0, Everton 0. It's been all about both goalkeepers because it's been end-to-end stuff. Newcastle with 4 shots on target, Everton with 3, but Nick Pope and Jordan Pickford still have clean sheets at the break. The best chance for Newcastle, Sandro Tonali whipped the ball in from a really tight angle on the right-hand side. Pickford had to punch that clear. Everton's best chance, Mikalenko's ball in from the left. Alcaraz, centre of goal. His effort saw Pope quickly push it over the top of the crossbar. Eddie Howe's been busy making loads of notes on this one. At the break though, Newcastle 0, Everton 0.
The side who are probably in the worst position at the moment, although not according to the table, but merely by the fact that they're down to 10, are Villa. They're at Old Trafford. Lee Blakeman.
And they've just had Emi Martinez sent off for a block on Rasmus Højlund. It was an awful back pass mark in the first place for Matty Cash, which played Højlund in, went through one-on-one. Martinez came racing out of his area, took out Højlund, and referee Thomas Bramall waved a red card to him straight away. As a result, Robin Olsen has come on to make his final Villa appearance. The player who has been sacrificed is Marco Asensio. Seconds to go at the end of a half that Manchester United have dominated. Manchester United 0, Aston Villa 0.
So, as things stand, Manchester City 71, Newcastle 67, Chelsea 67. They would be the Champions League qualifiers. Aston Villa also have 67 as things stand. Nottingham Forest have 66. Brighton are going to fall to 9th this evening because they trail at Tottenham. Alistair Bruce Ball.
Spurs 1, Brighton 0 at half-time. Yes, Brighton have lost their grip on 8th for the time being. That is potential European football next season. We'll have to see. They found a Tottenham team actually enjoying themselves in the mood. Dominic Solanke's penalty, the difference here. Cooley chipped in off the bar after Matthias Tell was tripped. Tell nearly made it 2-0 on the counter-attack later in the half. Brilliantly denied by Verbruggen. Adingra, Vifa and Hinshelwood have all gone close for Brighton. They've got to chase it a bit now. Spurs 1, Brighton 0.
And they dropped to 9th because Brentford have gone above them. They lead at Molineux at the break. Pat Murphy.
Deservedly 1-0. They're living up to their nickname. The Bees are swarming all over Wolves. Wolves can't really clear the ball with any efficiency, and it's from a misplaced pass by Aït-Nouri that Norgard passed to Umbumo, and he made no mistake 10 yards out. Lewis Potter's gone close, so has Wieser. One chance for Wolves at the end. Semedo 20 yards out, palmed away low to his left by Flecken. Wolves 0, Brentford 1.
Half-time whistle has gone at Old Trafford. Lee.
Manchester United 0, Aston Villa 0, but Villa down to 10. Emi Martinez sent off for a block on Højlund, who got onto the end of a poor pass back from Matty Cash. Right out of his area did Martinez, made the block, straight red card. Robin Olsen in goal now. Asensio, the player sacrificed. United had the best chance of the half before that. Darlow with a shot from the edge of the area which came back off the post. Mount and Casemiro have gone close as well. Villa yet to get going, no efforts on target, and they're now down to 10 for the second half. United 0, Villa 0.
Champions are behind at the break. John Murray.
Liverpool 0, Crystal Palace 1. The in-form team of these two are winning through Ismail Assar's well-taken goal in the 8th minute after a Bradley pass had given the ball away. Liverpool have been sluggish. They've created little until Diaz curled one just wide and then also forced a very good save from the Palace goalkeeper and captain today, Dean Henderson. So it is Liverpool 0, Crystal Palace 1. I'll just say as well, Mark, Trent Alexander-Arnold was sent out to warm up on his own just before half-time. He was applauded, but then the Steven Gerrard song struck up and the cop were singing that song about Real Madrid as well. But it looks as though he might come on for the second half because he has been rigorously warming up during the half-time break so far.
So you wonder whether they bring him on at half-time as that's less noticeable.
Possibly, but I mean it could also be an issue with Bradley perhaps, which is why he was sent out just before the break. But yeah, I follow your thinking.
Wow. I don't think you've ever said that before, have you?
Well, it's first time for everything.
There is, isn't it?
It's carnival atmosphere.
Let's go to St Mary's. Lovely story for Kieran Tierney. Henry Moran.
Yes, Southampton 0, Arsenal 1. Open game dominated by the visitors who deservedly lead the goal just before the break. Well worked down the right. Ben White's cross tucked home by Tierney. His final Arsenal game before a move back to Celtic and a first goal of the season. New Southampton boss Will Still watching on from the stands. I've seen moments from his future side. Excuse me, but Arsenal well on top and leading. Southampton 0, Arsenal 1. I've waited till at the end of the season before swallowing a fly live on there.
Right, I shall let you go get a drink from somewhere. Thank you very much, Henry. Let's go to Portman Road. Sam Ashew, where West Ham lead at the break.
They certainly do, Mark. Defensive mistakes have been the story of Ipswich's season, and it's the story of the day here as well. West Ham leading courtesy of James Ward-Prowse, who just couldn't miss after Jared Bowen won the ball high up the pitch. He could have shot but didn't. They're playing two up top today, West Ham. The fans have been calling for it for a while, and they look good. They look more attacking, quite simply, because they've got more attacking players on the pitch. As for Ipswich, they've been okay going forward. Amari Hutchinson has caused some issues on the right-hand side, whilst Nathan Broadhead's curling shot was saved brilliantly by Lucas Fabianski on his final game for the club. But at the moment, West Ham lead by 1-0 at Pullman Road.
Also at the break in the final Premier League game, Bournemouth 0, Leicester 0 in the League One playoff final. Earlier, Charlton beat Leyton Orient by 1-0. They'll play Championship football next season. Rangers have won the Women's Scottish Cup. They beat Glasgow City 3-0. Glasgow City reduced to 10 in that game as well. In the one Super League game today, Wakefield have demolished Salford 72-10. And at the Grand Prix earlier in Monaco, Lando Norris won that in his McLaren. 5-5, Richard Foster has the news.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
The Deputy Prime Minister Angela Rayner says she can't guarantee that changes to the winter fuel allowance for pensioners will be in place before this winter. Sir Keir Starmer says he wants more people to be eligible for the payments. The bodies of 5 skiers have been found in mountains in Switzerland. A helicopter was sent up to search near the resort of Zermatt after climbers spotted skis abandoned in the snow. Health officials in Gaza say at least 20 Palestinians have been killed in the latest Israeli military strikes. A British doctor says the only surviving son of a Palestinian doctor whose 9 other children were killed in an Israeli strike on Friday is due to be operated on soon. President Zelensky says the silence of America and the rest of the world is encouraging Vladimir Putin to keep attacking Ukraine. He's been speaking after the biggest assault on his country since the start of the war, with more than 360 Russian missiles and drones launched last night. And the broadcaster and former BBC executive Alan Yentob has died at the age of 78. He commissioned Have I Got News For You and the sitcom Absolutely Fabulous, and also started the CBBC and CBeebies channels.
On the Football Daily Podcast.
And a slot, Liverpool champions 20 times.
Arne, good to see you. Is it hard to believe sometimes what you've achieved in your first season here?
The moment the referee blew his whistle, you were like, wow, this has really happened. You can reach a final with good luck, and you can never win a league with only having a lot of luck.
The Football Daily Podcast.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is 5 Live Sport
with Mark Chapman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Back to the City Ground shortly. Nottingham Forest 0, Chelsea 0 on the final Premier League day of the season. As things stand, Aston Villa and Nottingham Forest are the two sides who will miss out on Champions League football. Manchester City, Newcastle and Chelsea are the ones who are in 3rd, 4th and 5th respectively at the moment. Opening day of the French Open. Russell Fuller is watching.
Fairly routine on the court, Mark, with wins today for the world number 1 Arina Sabalenka, the Olympic champion Jung Chin-wen, also Elina Svitolina and the in-form Italian Lorenzo Musetti, who's the only member of the men's top 10 who's been in action today. But now, really, we're waiting for the main event, and most of the 15,000 spectators in the Philippe Chatrier court have donned clay-coloured shirts. We're anticipating a tribute to the retired 14-time champion Rafael Nadal. Novak Djokovic will be here, and according to the Serb, Roger Federer and Andy Murray are also expected to walk out on court in the next few minutes to pay tribute to the great champion.
Thank you very much, Russell. Earlier in the F1, Lando Norris won the Monaco Grand Prix. Charles Leclerc and Oscar Piastri completed the podium positions. Norris cuts the gap to Piastri in the championship to just 13 points, and afterwards he spoke to Jenson Button.
It feels amazing. It's a long race. It's a long, grueling race. But good fun, you know. We could push for quite a lot of the race. The last quarter was a little bit nervous with Charles close behind and Max ahead, but we won in Monaco, so it doesn't matter how you win, I guess. But yeah, an amazing weekend with Paul, with today. This is what I dream of. This is what I did dream of when I was a kid, so I achieved one of my dreams. But I think it was you. I saw you in front of my car before the start, and I was like, if JV's here now, then
I'll always take
my
credit.
Good luck charm.
But you know, most people say that you win Monaco on the Saturday in qualifying. Such an exceptional job, but you still got to get it done on the Sunday.
Yeah.
Lovely start, and then the pressure you put under, and all of those cars you had to overtake during the race. It must have been quite tense.
It is. I mean, the worst bit really was just the end. You know, I felt quite under control the whole race, but Max was ahead, and Max was kind of backing it up a little bit. And I knew then that's when Charles had the opportunity, so I had to manage it quite a lot. I tried to back off of Max so I could push when I needed to and chill when I needed to, so I still had to manage. It was still a well-fought race, but I'm very happy, my team are very happy, and therefore we're going to have a wonderful night.
More reaction on the Checkered Flag podcast. Charlton beat Leyton Orient 1-0 in the League One playoff final to return to the Championship after 5 years away. Here's their boss, Nathan Jones, with Aaron Paul.
I'm so proud of that achievement, so proud of how we've been able to do it. I'm so proud of the fans, the group, the club, my owners, the players and all the staff. You know, wonderful day.
I said it during the game, Orient huffed and puffed, but they were never going to break that house down.
Well, probably you had more confidence than me, but no, look, you know, once we scored, we've never lost when we scored first, so that was a big thing. We wanted to score first, and then to have seen the game out in the manner that we did, I'm really proud.
I just want to ask, in terms of this job and you, and sort of the club and you needing each other, wanting to come back and be a success again, how important was it for you?
Yeah, it was the gamble for me, you know, to drop from my last job was in the Premier League, my next job was in League One. People questioned that, but as I said, I didn't come here to be a League One or Championship. I came here to manage Charlton, and
back on the pitch, no changes at the moment we can see from a Wolves perspective. It is half-time. We're about to start the second half in the next minute or so. Wolves 0, Brentford 1. Brahim and Bumo with the goal after 20 minutes, his 20th of the season. Alongside me, Sohail Sahi, is Matt Jarvis, once a Wolverhampton Wanderers winger, flying winger. You enjoyed your time here, didn't you, Matt?
Yeah, it was amazing, honestly. Really enjoyed it. Fantastic club. Had some really good times here. Got promoted to the Premier League, 3 seasons in the Premier. Amazing experience. Yeah, fantastic.
You still got friends here. Someone wants to have a chat. You can carry on. I'll just go through the scores around the country at half-time. Tottenham leading Brighton by a goal to 0. Southampton 0, Arsenal 1. Nottingham Forest 0, Chelsea 0. Newcastle 0, Everton 0. Manchester United 0, Aston Villa 0. Bournemouth 0, Leicester 0. And Fulham 0, Man City 1. Ipswich 0, West Ham 1. Liverpool 0, Crystal Palace 1. Matt is back with us. No changes from a Brentford perspective either, Matt. So same 11s for both clubs at the start of this second half.
Yeah, well, we saw Strand Larsen having a vigorous warm-up at half-time for Wolves. I think looks like he'll be coming on as early as possible, really. I think he's been struggling with a little knock, so that's potentially why he didn't start today, but he's someone that Wolves will need in this second half. He's had the goals this season, but it's just it's the hold-up play, you know, in the way that he can bring other people into the game, and obviously that focal point in the box when the cross is coming in. So I'll keep your eyes peeled for him coming on within probably the next 15 minutes.
Yeah, the leading scorer this year for Wolves with 14 Premier League, 7 in the last 8 Premier League games as well. Picked up a slight knock during the week after the Crystal Palace game on Tuesday night, and as a precaution he's on the bench, but he'll be ready to go, as Matt just said, in this second 45 minutes. We have to wait for the game also at Tottenham and Brighton to kick off at the same time. Both sets of players are ready to go. Craig Pawson just says there'll be a slight delay, so allows me to run through the lineups. Jose Sar's in goals for Wolves. Their back three, Doherty, Agbadou and Totti Gomez. And then it's Semedo, João Gomez, Andre and Ait Nouri. We're underway for the second 45 minutes with Munetsi and Cunha playing behind Guedes. As for Brentford, as they defend the goal to our right-hand side, so Wolves are attacking from left to right, if you know Molineux, in the direction of the Sir Jack Hayward. Stan Flecken is in goals. Their back four from right to left, Coyote, Collins, Vandenberg and Lewis Potter. In midfield you've got Norgard and Yarmolik, and in front of those two, Mbumo, Damsgaard and Sade with Wissa up front. This is Cunha rolling his studs over the ball, heading towards the dead ball line, puts the cross in to the near post. The legs of Flecken get it away only as far as Guedes. He's sliding, wins the ball. Fairly so, says the referee. He was hauled down by Sharda. Play's allowed to continue. What happened there? He stopped play, then it's allowed to continue. Doherty over to Cunha. If this results in a goal, Brentford will be furious. Now he stops play, Matt Jarvis. Dissect that one, because he did stop the game, didn't he? He came back to Doherty and then carried on. There's a Wolves player down, it's Guedes. It'll be a throw in for Wolves. Still Wolves 0, Brentford 1.
Yeah, Guedes come in, I think it was Sharda, they collided, but actually I was just looking on the replay, I think he just caught his foot underneath him when he slid in, Guedes, but it looked like the referee just sort of put a stop to the game, but it wasn't. Doherty carried on, chipped it over to the far post to Cunha, but on that left-hand side, he's driven to the byline, tried to whip a ball across goal, but there's only Menezes in there, and he's actually come straight off Flecken in between his legs. But there's no other Wolves player in the box apart from Menezes. That's an area they need to improve on.
So João Gomez out to Semedo. Doherty with the first-time cross off the back of Sharda. It's gone out for a corner, deflected away. Lewis Potter was scampering to try and clear it, but the ball had already run out of play. So Cunha, in his very stylish way, just ambles his self to the ball, rolls it in front of the quadrant, now takes it right-footed into that near post. It's headed away by Mbumo, miskick by Aït-Nouri, allows Wissa to play infield to Damsgaard, back to Wissa. Jose Sarr scrambling to get back inside his penalty area. This is a good counter attack. Now Mbumo, left-footed, he clips it over the top. Oh, it might have just grazed the top of the crossbar. I think he was caught in two minds there, Matt Jarvis. It's a goal kick to Wolves, still Wolves 0, Brentford 1. I thought he was going to shoot, and then he saw two Brentford players out the corner of his eye to his right, and he didn't do either.
No, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say he was chipping it over to Wissa on the far post. But really good counter-attack from Brentford. The ball bounced on the edge of the box. Aït-Nouri went to do a right foot volley, complete swing and a miss, and it was the break. Wissa on the right hand side and Burma on the left, and they burst forward and got right inside the box, and Burma thought about shooting, but then Wissa, as you mentioned, pulled off to the far post, so he got caught in two minds, and he's trying to dink it to the far post of Wissa, but he's just put it too far.
This is Aït-Nouri, played through by Cunha, and well defended at the near post by Collins, using every inch of his 6'4" frame, but the flag has gone up, and hopefully they'll have a look at that over the summer, because it was an offside in the build-up, and so it's a free kick for Brentford, which they roll it back to their goalkeeper.
But it's a couple of times now Wolves have got in behind on that left-hand side. Cunha first and then Aït-Nouri then. Yes, it was offside, but it's when they get into the box, that cross there, there's two people in the box at this time for Aït-Nouri, and he doesn't really even look up to where he's playing the ball. It just goes straight and it hits the Brentford defender. You need to be able to look up and see where your players are running in, and because it can be a simple tap-in. Throw-ins
taken quickly. Wolves still trailing to Brentford by a 1-0. The goal coming in the first half. Guedes on to Cunha, gets it back. Guedes just outside the penalty, pulls the cross back to João Gomez. His shot's blocked. It spins out to Mbumo, but it's taken away from him by two Wolves players. Aït-Nouri, left-footed, smashes it into the near post. It's fisted away two-handed by Flecken and turned around the post for a corner. Good start to the second half from the black and gold of Wolves.
Yeah, they're doing exactly what Brentford did to them. They're winning the ball back just on the edge of the box, and Burma gets caught underneath the ball. They win it back, and then it's a sort of a good run by Aït-Nouri on the outside, played in by Andre, and a great strike from Aït-Nouri, a really good save, and it's another opportunity for Cunha from the corner to put a good ball in. He's done two now, and they both hit the front man, so you're going to have to see if he can produce a better bit of quality from these set pieces.
It's also the way he takes the corners as well. He wraps his right foot around it. It's almost like he's playing golf or something, and the way you kind of flick it, it's almost like tennis X. You put his
topspin.
Yeah, topspin, that's it, and he does it again right footed. Definitely spun in. It was Collins who heads it up and over the crossbar. It's another corner below the giant screen in the corner of Molineux, between the Sir Jack Hayward and the Steve Bull stand.
it's like he's trying to sort of just get it underneath the crossbar, just on that with a lot of spin, so it could go anywhere, but he's not been able to do that as effective at the moment.
2-yard run up, here he comes right footed. This time he just strokes it to the far post, tries to pick out João Gomes, headed away by Schade, falls to Guedes, wants to get it on his right foot, tries to cross at the second attempt. Lewis Potter got in the way, just clears it in the direction of Norgard. He lashes it up to the halfway line. The ball had run out of play. Vitor Pereira and his assistant Louis Miguel pointing to the assistant referee below us here on this near side that the ball had run out of play. Throw-ins taken. Doherty in front of his manager. Guedes first time infield to Semedo. Semedo back to Guedes, midway inside Brentford's half. Down this right-hand side, loose forward ball. Lewis Potter gets pushed in the back. That's needless from an experienced Nelson Semedo. Free kick, a bit of catch your breath time for Brentford. Brentford leading here at Molineux against Wolves by a goal to nil.
Yeah, good experience from Lewis Potter though. He just gets his body in front of Semedo, waits for that contact, gets it, takes the pressure off his team, and wins his team a free kick in the forward. And everyone, as you said, can take a breath, because Brentford hasn't started this half that well. Although they've had really good chances on the counter, they've been giving the ball away like Wolves did in the edge of their box quite early in this second half, a number of occasions.
Thomas Frank comes to collect two Premier League managers of the season nominees right below us here in Thomas Frank and Vitor Pereira. On a slot, Eddie Howe and Nuno Espirito Santo, the other three. Got the current manager of the month as well in Vitor Pereira for April, right in front of Matt and I. We're watching this game for BBC 5 Sports Extra 2. We're I'd say into the second tier of the main stand, right over the halfway line. Fantastic view of what's going on right in front of us. The final day of the Premier League season. Brentford leading Wolves by a goal to nil, coming on the attack, looking for the second, and Boomer to Wissa, right-footed effort, hits the side netting. Can't really twist his right leg around it. Good work between him and Mbumo, and eventually just cradles the side netting. It's a goal kick for Wolves. Wolves 0, Brentford 1.
Yeah, we were saying about the front three of Brentford. It's there, all three of them linking up there. Schade into Mbumo, lovely little flick around the outside to Wissa, who, as you mentioned, couldn't quite get his right foot around it to bring it into the goal. It's near post, it's gone wide, but really good interchange by the front three.
Cunha gets the better of Collins in central area of the pitch, shrugs him off, wants to get it on his left foot, then tries a shot with his right foot. Took a couple of deflection. It's scrambled away by the Brentford defence. Throwing for Wolves. João Gomes back to Andre. Brighton have equalised in North London against Tottenham. Now it's Tottenham 1, Brighton 1. Jack Hinshelwood with the equalising goals. That means as it stands, Brighton will finish in 8th and Brentford will remain in 9th place. That point will take them away from Brentford, who are leading Wolves here by a goal to nil. So Tottenham 1, Brighton 1, and here it's Wolves 0, Brentford 1. Otherwise, goals stay the same. Ipswich have equalised at Portman Road at home to West Ham. Nathan Broadhead with the equalising goal there. So it's 1 apiece between Ipswich and West Ham. This is Cunha inside the penalty, takes the deflection, and Blecken was backpedaling furiously, and he was lucky because he looked up underneath his goal and the ball landed on the roof of the net. Corner for Wolves.
Yeah, Wolves have started this second half really lively. You can see the intent now, whereas first half is a bit lacklustre. Now there's that intent, a bit of positive. I'm sure the managers got into them at half time saying we need to be a bit more intent, go forward, go quicker, and you can see that with how they've started the second half. And Cunha's had 2 good opportunities there. The first one that got blocked, I thought actually might have gone into the far corner.
He takes charge of the corner on the far side and now tries to spin it in. It hits the side netting, came off Coyote. Referee's seen some infringement there. Is it just a goal kick? But it spun in by Cunha, came off Coyote, actually flicked off a Wolves player. It's a free kick anyway. The referee's seen something there, Matt. It's not a goal kick.
Yeah, it wasn't that obvious. I know we've looked at the replay a couple of times. It wasn't that obvious, but he's obviously seen something. But again, it's that corner kick, it's not working. They need to change it. It's a couple of times now they've tried that near post one and it's not working. I think they need to try a different idea. Maybe they've been trying Cunha on the near post ones. Maybe Aït-Nouri try on more of an in swinger on another side or an out swinger, just to try and change it up. It's just not working. It's going straight to the Brentford centre halves who are clearing it or getting it away.
Southampton have equalised at home to Arsenal. It's Southampton 1, Arsenal 1. The goals are now starting to go in across the country on the final day of the Premier League season. We're here at Molineux. Wolves are trailing at home to Brentford by a goal to nil, but they come on the attack. Munetsi pulls it back. Shot fluffed by Guedes, just left of the penalty spot. Vitor Pereira, I can see him. He's so animated. He's angry because that, Matt Jarvis, you could say, was the best chance of the afternoon for the black and gold of Wolves. They're still trailing at home to Brentford by a goal to nil.
Yeah, that is the golden chance for Wolves. That it's a superb cutback from Munetsi on the right hand side. He's got himself into a really good position. Guedes is held back at the far side. Munetsi pulled this ball right across the face of the 6-yard box, all the way through to Guedes, and all he needs to do is had a good strike. He's almost flicked it off his right foot onto his left foot. He's scuffed the ball, and it was a really, really easy chance to put into the back of the net on that far side. And unfortunately, that's the quality that we haven't been seeing him. Maybe if that's a Stradon Larsen, potentially, would that have gone into the back of the net in his goal scoring form? It's a possibility, but he's got in the right positions once again, and it's Munetsi who makes that run in behind. He's done that quite a few times today, but it's that final pass which he found this time, and unfortunately for Wolves, Guedes just couldn't put it into the back of the net.
Goal kick for Brentford. They're leading Wolves here at Molineux after 57 minutes by a goal to nil. 5 Sports Extra 2 from the BBC. Goal of the day, I'd say, so far. It's come at the City Ground. Latest, Nottingham Forest 0, Chelsea 1. Levi Colwill with the goal. If that stays as it is, that means Chelsea will go into the Champions League. They need to win.
That's a huge goal. Huge goal.
And the other game that they're keeping a close eye on at Old Trafford, it's still Manchester United 0, Aston Villa 0, and also at St James Park it's Newcastle 0, Everton 0. Wissa now into Schade just outside the penalty area. He creeps inside. Schade, right-footed, drags it across the 6-yard box, cleared away by Semedo. Wissa wasn't far away. Good work by Kevin Schade. Starting to impress a lot of people in the Premier League as West Ham score a second and retake the lead at Portman Road. Jared Bowen with the goal. So Ipswich 1, West Ham 2. The goals are starting to go in, Matt, across the country. And it's Yarmolik into Damsgaard. He wriggles away from one Wolves player now. Mbeumo inside the penalty area, gets muscled out of it by Munetsi. He's down on the floor. Brentford win it back through Norgard. Collins sweeps in across first time. Right footer Schade climbs above Doherty. Totti Gomez gets it away with a stooping header. Scrappy piece of play, but I enjoy this football when the ball is just going from one team to another. Tigerish, and now Andre goes down, gets clipped, and is that a yellow card? It is for Wissa.
Yeah, I think both teams have had that. It could have gone either way there. There's I think it was Andre and Gomez in the middle of the park. The two of them were battling 3 or 4 Brentford players, and it's Andre who's tried to go forward. He's got a clip of Wissa, and he almost ran into Cunha, who sort of moved out the way as if to say, look, I'm not involved in this. We need to get a free kick for that. But going back a couple of minutes ago, a really good chance for Schade on that right hand side. Really good play, whipped across in, and it only needed someone to play it into the far side, but Semedo with a really good defensive block.
And this is Semedo just on the edge of Brentford's penalty area. Back to Doherty, first time cross curling to the far post. It evades everyone, runs outside the penalty area, and Mbeumo's there defending really deep, runs away from his own right full back area. Damsgaard with the first time sweeping ball from right to left, takes the deflection, falls to Schade. Whistle's gone down, plays allowed to continue. Schade steps in field, then heads towards the dead ball line, well defended by Agbadou. Rolls it back 5 yards to Lewis Potter. He just slows the pace of the attack down, swaps passes with the Ukrainian Yarmolik in front of their manager Thomas Frank, who's on the edge of his technical area. navy blue trousers and a green tracksuit top. Rolls it back to Flecken with white gloves on. Now to Coyote, springs infield, takes a deflection, falls to Wissa. Right and forward of the arc of the centre circle. Now to Coyote. Coyote wants to get out on his left foot, but tries to beat one too many Wolves players. This game's opening up now, Matt, as the Ait Nouri plays it forward to Guedes. Guedes inside the penalty area. No one's there in support. He clips it to the far post, but no one was there. Cunha wanted him to pull it back. I didn't think Ait Nouri could really see that, Matt.
No, not at all. Guedes, he's done so well with the great run in behind, and he gets to the byline and he's looking up, he's thinking, who's going to come into the box, who wants to get a goal, and he plays it across and there's no one there. Cunha's holding off on the edge of the box. Yes, potentially he could have got the ball, but you should be busting to get into the box to get your goal. He's hanging out on the edge of the box to wait for that cutback to try and hit a really good shot into the far corner where he could just be sprinting to get inside the box and just be a simple tap in. So disappointing end again for Wolves, but good play.
Wolves about to make a change. Rodrigo Gomez, one of their midfielders who did start against Crystal Palace, and Strand Larsen as well, about to come on. Two players who did start on Tuesday night at Selhurst Park. The 4-2 defeat was a party really at Selhurst Park for Crystal Palace. They ran out winners by 4-2. This is Semedo. Wolves 0, Brentford 1 here at Molineux on the final day of the Premier League season. Premier League football from 5 Live Sports Extra 2. Over on 5 Live it's Nottingham Forest 0, Chelsea 1. On Sports Extra it's Liverpool 0, Crystal Palace 1. Ipswich trailing at home to West Ham by 2-1. Fulham losing to Manchester City at Craven Cottage by 1-0. Bournemouth 0, Leicester 0. And here Norgard plays it to his left to Sharda. Brentford attacking from right to left, if you know Molineux, in the direction of the stand. Khulistan. Norgard's got time, sets himself to shoot, not really troubling Jose Sarr. Was on target, 25 yards out, and Sarr took it comfortably low down to his right hand side.
Yeah, he's got what I think 5 goals this season. Norgard. He's had a lot of time on the edge of the box. He's had a time to look up, to think to have a shot, then he's had another touch to correct himself, and he just didn't quite get the power and the whip that he wanted, and didn't quite strike it as well as he'd hoped, and really comfortable for Sarr.
Cunha gives it away to groans around Molineux. Still a breeze
flat,
in the air.
Hasn't it? Yeah. It's gone flat. Very much the atmosphere here has gone flat. The Wolves are hoping that these 2 substitutions will maybe create a bit of positivity in this stadium.
Started the second half promisingly for Wolves. It's faded away now. Brentford taking over, just using the full width of the pitch at the moment. It's over on the far side in front of their supporters in the lower tier of the Steve Bull stand. Goes back to Collins. Van den Berg is there to his left. Coyote to his right. Over the halfway line. Brentford enjoying possession of the ball. Strand Larsen and Rodrigo Gomez getting ready to come on. Brentford still with possession. Coyote now back to Yarmolik. Every single Wolves player behind the ball. Wolves 0, Brentford 1. The goal that separates them came in the first half through Brian Mbumo after 20 minutes. His 20th of the season. Both goalkeepers have been called into action on numerous occasions, but at the moment Brentford are edging Wolves and looking to do the double over the side from the Black Country, and the ball's out of play finally. It'll be a throw-in for Wolves on the halfway line, and Ait Nouri is the first change. He's coming off, and Rodrigo Gomez will be replacing him.
Rodrigo Gomez.
And Guedes makes way for Strand Larsen. Matt Jarvis light for light there between Strand Larsen and Guedes.
Yeah, I think they just needed that focal point. Guedes he's done well in that the running off the ball, but it's that quality, that one chance that he's got in that box. He just wasn't able to put a good connection on his right foot and just guide it into the corner, where Strand Larsen's in great form, scoring goals. He's got a bit more of a focal point in the sense to hold up play, to bring others into the game, and it's a difficult position for that centre forward at Wolves. A bit like Brentford with Visser. You've got to be able to do a lot of things. You've got to be able to hold the ball up. You've got to be able to score goals. You've got to be able to bring other people into the game, and that's something that Strand Larsen in spells in this season he's been able to do. So for a Wolves perspective, I'm sure that they'll be hoping that he can get himself involved in the game as soon as straight away.
Brentford with possession, play the ball out from the back. They beat the Wolves press. Lewis Potter then gives it away to Doherty. Now João Gomes just turns and checks his shoulders. Strand Larsen with his first touch, but he's crowded out by two Brentford players, and they come on the counter-attack down this near left-hand side, and Doherty feels his shin. It just got clipped really by Yarmolenko. I think it was unintentional really.
Yeah, well actually he didn't mean to at all, but he has trod on Doherty there. Doherty went to ground quite early, slid, got the ball, but he has been trod on there. It's going to be a sore one.
Just a little break in play. Ait Nouri was the player who was receiving a round of applause as he made his way around the pitch. Brentford players taking on, I think,
having a drinks break.
Instruction more than anything.
The refs trying to tell them, come on, get on with the game.
I'm pleased with that though, Matt. It's really a bugbear of mine when you see these stoppages. It's almost like a basketball timeout. So I think we need to snuff that out when the goalkeeper goes down, and they all come down to take some, not liquids really, instruction. So I'm pleased Craig Pawson noticed that and says, look, let's get on with the game. And the game is continuing. Wolves 0, Brentford 1. We've played the 22 minutes of the second half. This is Cunha striding forward. He had an option to his left in Rodrigo Gomez. Pulled it back for João Gomes.
Wrong option.
Yeah.
Wrong option.
Over the top, goal kick.
Oh, Cunha. He's so good. He's got everything. He's got vision. He's got power, pace, everything. That was the wrong option there. He's driving forward at the defence. And Gomez on that left-hand side has made a brilliant run. Just needed to play him in. Instead he's put to Gomez, who's cut back onto his right foot and had the shot. And yes, he's got to hit the target, but Cunha, he needs to play in Gomez there. He's in acres of space, made a great run, just didn't see him.
Goal kick's taken straight down the middle of the pitch, up and over the halfway line, falls to Coyote in the second phase, picks out Mbumo. Socks once again rolled down towards his calf. He tries to find Yarmolenko, well defended by Wolves, but they do concede a corner as we enter the final 20 or so minutes, 21 minutes of action on the final day of the Premier League season here at Molineux. Wolves trailing at home to Brentford by a 0-0. Still no goals between Manchester United and Aston Villa, and Newcastle and Everton. Now Brighton have scored a second. They were behind, but they're leading now at Tottenham. Matt, you did call that pre-match. Tottenham 1, Brighton 2. Hinshelwood with the second goal. So as it stands, Brighton will finish 8th and Brentford 9th. So it's Brighton who will be hoping, fingers crossed, Chelsea win on Wednesday night means European football. At the Amex, corner taken. Collins with a header. Out of play or out of the penalty area? Does it go out of play? No. Took a deflection. It's a corner on this opposite side for Brentford.
Yeah, I'm not sure Smedo really knew which way the ball was going to go. He didn't know who it came off, so in the end he's decided to try and get rid of it and kick it up the pitch, but it was too late. It's obviously crossed the line.
Still at the City Ground, it's Nottingham Forest 0, Chelsea 1. Colwell with the goal in the second half. Free kick, corner, beg your pardon, for Brentford in their red and white striped shirts, black shorts and socks. It's Damsgaard who takes it right-footed in, swinging to the near post, headed away by Strand Larsen. He was there defending the Norwegian centre forward. 7 goals in his last 8 Premier League appearances. Switch of play by Yarmolenko, and Norgard kept it from running out of play, and Mbumo's taken his time. I thought he was about to be pickpocketed it, but it managed to keep the ball, rolled it back to Flecken. And now it's Yarmolenko across the edge of his penalty area to Coyote. playing a dangerous game. Munetsi was a bit rash. It's a foul for Brentford on the edge of their own penalty box.
See, I don't mind that for Munetsi. I tell you, this whole game he's worked extremely hard. He doesn't give up, and he's so strong. I mean, he's been holding people off. He's been bulldozing his way through a few times, but there he's just a little bit too eager.
Damsgaard trying to pick out Sade. Jose Sarr collects, plays it right-footed outside of his penalty area. Wolves moving up the pitch over the halfway line. Surprise latest score coming in from St James Park. Newcastle 0, Everton 1. Alcaraz with the goal. I'll let you know what that means for the table in the moment, as Wolves have possession over on that far side in Brentford's right full-back area. Lazy forward ball by João Gomez, and Flecken comes to collect just right of his 6-yard box. So if we look at the live Premier League table, with that goal going in at St James Park, Aston Villa now creep into the top 5. Newcastle drop down to 6th, because Aston Villa, as it stands, are earning a point at Old Trafford, Matt, and
that
Newcastle.
That is a huge game.
Yeah,
that is a huge
losing
goal
at
for
home
Everton.
to Everton.
That is a huge goal for Everton. Really is. Newcastle are firm favourites to go and win that at home, so to be 1-0 down is a huge upset.
Cunha goes down, picks himself up. Yarmolenko has a second and nibble. Cunha goes back down, pleads at the referee. Wissa's been fouled by Semedo. That is a booking for the captain of the day, Nelson Semedo of Wolves.
Yeah, I think Cunha's not happy at all that he didn't get a free kick, but I think it was actually quite, for me, it looked like half a dozen, one and the other. They were both coming together, both scrapping for the ball, and Cunha just didn't win the ball, and then Semedo's just quite clearly just blocked off Wissa and picked himself a yellow card.
So bring you right up to date. Bournemouth 0, Leicester 0. Fulham 0, Manchester City 1, Ipswich 1, West Ham 2. Liverpool still trailing at home to Crystal Palace by a goal to 0. Manchester United 0, Aston Villa 0. How crucial will that score be at Old Trafford? Newcastle trailing at home to Everton by a goal to 0. Nottingham Forest 0, Chelsea 1. Southampton 1, Arsenal 1. Tottenham 1, Brighton 2. And here in the Black Country, Wolves 0, Brentford 1. 5 live sports extra 2 from the BBC. Premier League football on your dial as Doherty rolls it back to Sarr, and he skews his clearance. Out of touch it goes. It's a throw-in for the visitors, Brentford, and they'll take their time over these restarts. I've noticed that now, Matt, over the last 5 or so minutes. No one near the ball. It's a throw-in for Brentford, deep inside Wolves' right full-back area, 10 yards away from the corner flag.
Yeah, I think they know that they've been under the cosh a little bit in this second half. You know, they're taking the sting out of the game every opportunity they can, and they're going to do another long throw on the left-hand side here, and when every single Brentford player is past the penalty spot to go for this long throw, but it's actually gone short to Damsgaard.
He takes his time, clips in a cross, headed away by Agbadu, forced to Mbumo, left-footed way over the top into row AA, lower tier of the Stan Cullistan. Goal kick to the home side.
Yeah, he's not going to be scoring goals from there. That is it's high and wide, but you can't blame him. He's been incredible in front of goal this season, so why not take a shot from there?
Strand Larsen with a flick on. Now it's Munetsi into the penalty, right-footed shot. What a wonderful goal! What a wonderful strike! That was bullet from Munetsi, and he's pulled Wolves level. Route 1, Strand Larsen with the flick on, Munetsi with the finish, and we're all square at Molineux. Wolves 1, Brentford 1.
A bit of back to front, old school, big kick forward, centre forward winning the header, and it's Munetsi. He's been doing it all game. I said earlier about his runs off the ball. Great flick on by Strand Larsen, and it's to Munetsi who gets himself there, big strides onto his right foot, and he's just not even looked up. Bang! Hit it just outside the box. A really powerful shot, and it's gone right into the top corner. Nothing Flecken can do. Really good strike. 1-1.
The home support deserve that goal for sticking with their Wolves team.
Yeah, they have. The second half they've really improved. They've just looked a bit more on it. They've just had more energy. They've actually tried to do things a bit quicker. anything. It's not been lacklustre like the first half. They've actually, if they were going to play forward, they passed with precision, they passed with energy, and then they've, as I said about Menezes, he's been the inspiration in the second half of their running off the ball, and they're on the attack again.
Flag's gone up though. Strand Larsen offside, so it's a free kick for Brentford.
It's a
midway inside their own half. It's one of those strikes where it could have ended up out of the ground.
Absolutely.
But he connected it so well. And Mark Flecken, who's done really well in goals for Brentford today, made some fine saves, some routine saves, but made some good stops as well. He had no chance.
No, none at all. Really good strike, right into the top corner. He's gone past him before he's even had a chance to think. But fair play. I've been impressed with Menezes. He's done all game. His energy, his work rate, and he's afforded to have that opportunity at goal, and he's taken it.
So we're all square. Brentford now coming forward. It's Wissa inside the penalty area, fed by Sharda, crowded out by 3 Wolves defenders, and now Semedo. Sun's back out now at Molineux, literally so. Half the pitch is in shade, half the pitch in sunshine, and they've got a throw-in or a free kick?
Free kick it was. Gomez got the free kick down on this right in front of us here on the touchline. Nowhere to go really, and he's just flicked one round the corner and just got the other side and gone down for the free kick. But you can see now the Wolves fans are in voice. You can hear it in the atmosphere. You hear the crowd singing, and it's one that now that you can see that Brentford players are so frustrated. They're in such a good position. Yes, the results they didn't know, but the results were going against them. But they only had to win the game to give themselves an opportunity, and now they're on the back foot, and Wolves' spirits are high, pressing nice high up the pitch, winning the ball back.
Manchester City have got a second. Erling Haaland from the penalty spot, and Wissa miscontrolled, ball runs through to Jose Sarr. A week ago he turned a penalty effort away in the cup final, but a week on he scores from 12 yards, and Manchester City look like they're booking their place in the Champions League, leading Fulham by 2-0. Still Liverpool trailing at home to Crystal Palace by 1-0, and it's still Manchester United 0, Aston Villa 0, Newcastle 0, Everton 1, Nottingham Forest 0, Chelsea 1. And here it's Wolves 1, Brentford 1. Sharda infield to Damsgaard, on to Wissa, switches play out to the right hand side, and Mbeumo. This is 2 against 2, now 2 against 3. And Mbeumo and Wissa's offside. Mbeumo will have to roll it back 10 yards to Coyote. Infield it goes to Norgard, and now on to Yarmolik, central area of the pitch. He has Lewis Potter to his left hand side, approaching the edge of Wolves' penalty area. Infield it goes to Coyote. A few seagulls flying overhead here at Molineux, and Mbeumo wants to get on his left foot, clips across in left footed. It was Norgard with a header, stoops up into Jose Sarr's hands. He collects on the edge of his 6-yard box.
Yeah, good play from Mbeumo. He's cut inside on his left foot, always wanting to favour that left hand side, whipping a ball into the far post. It flicked off. Did you say it was Norgard? It looked like it was Norgard on that far side, but there was no power. It's not going to beat the keeper from there. But a good run. He's finding himself getting in the box a few times, Norgard, but it just didn't have enough on the header.
Approaching the final 11 minutes of this game. This is Agbadou, stolen a march on 2 Brentford players, plays it to his left. Cunha now on to Rodrigo Gomez, but behind him Cunha slipped as well, and the ball runs out of play.
Disappointing. They're getting themselves in such good positions. Cunha again was the one that didn't make the right pass there. His decision just played it behind Gomez on that left hand side, and it goes out for a Brentford throw. Whereas, I think it was Agbadou. He was striding out from the back, and Menezes went forward again. He had 2 opportunities to play him in, and he kept on having to bend his run again to stay onside, and it fell to Cunha, who's just wasted the opportunity. But they're finding these chances now. Every time they're going forward, they're finding chances to get in behind the Brentford defence. They're giving the ball away, and then it's just a matter of having that quality to take the chances.
First changes of the afternoon for Thomas Frank and Brentford. Igor Thiago coming on to replace Kevin Schade, and Matthias Jensen replacing Mikael Damsgaard. So Jensen for Damsgaard and Thiago for Schade. As we clock over into the 81st minute. Wolves 1, Brentford 1. Premier League football on your BBC Sounds app via BBC 5 Sports Extra 2 from the BBC. Premier League football, we've got lots more coming your way next season, both on Saturday and Sunday in the Premier League, and also weeknights. Plenty of live football, FA Cup covered, the EFL Cup as well, Champions League football, 6 English teams in the Champions League next season. Liverpool, Arsenal and Tottenham have booked their passage in, and another 3 will be joining them over the next 10 minutes or so. Dramatic stuff, I'm sure, over the next few minutes. Coyote with a long throw in, flicked on, taken by Sarr. It was a push inside the penalty. I'm not sure if that would have come to anything at the end of it, because VAR would have had a check of that. Yarmolenko felt Cunha on his shoulder. It was a punt upfield by Jose Sarr. João Gomez wins it back. Potter clears but falls on his back. It's given away. Cunha with a shot, deflected over the top by Collins. Really well defended by the Brentford centre half. Flicked over his left shin and looped up and over the crossbar. Really well defended by the Brentford centre half, Matt Jarvis. Corner to the home side, Wolves 1-1.
Yeah, brilliant defending, but they gave the ball away on the edge of the box again. That's where Wolves have had the opportunity, and from there Cunha, I don't know how many times this game he's found himself in that position with a striker goal just inside the box, and it's a brilliant block, but really from there you'll be hoping to at least hit the target. You can see Gomez and Cunha were trying to get the Wolves faithful with waving their arms, getting the crowd going in this last section of the match, but Cunha on the right hand side, another corner.
Takes it right footed, out swinging, deep one, headed away by Thiago, comes off at João Gomez. They both tussle for the ball. João Gomez runs out the winner, runs through the penalty area, tries to roll it back to Manetzi. Heavy touch by Wissa, and then Manetzi with a sliding challenge just clears it out of play. It'll be a throw in for Brentford in their right fullback area. 7 minutes to play, 1 apiece, and Vitor Pereira about to make another couple of changes. It's Bellegarde and Santiago Bueno who are about to come on. There's been a slight delay in the change, maybe a change of heart. Bueno sat down, but now he appears from the clear dugout right below us here, right in front of us. We're in the second tier of the main stand here at Molineux. 1 apiece between Wolves and Brentford, and Wolves coming forward again in search of the winning goal. Final 7 minutes of Premier League action of this season here on 5 Sports Extra 2 from the BBC. Doherty now plays it infield to Andre, and now on to Totti Gomez. Andre gets it back again inside the centre circle, short and square to his right to Doherty. Agbadou makes some space for himself. Every single Brentford player behind the ball, and Agbadou try to thread it through a posse of bodies, and it rolls all the way through to Mark Flecken. Yeah,
not quite the ball that everyone was expecting. He's trying to force it there. Just keep the ball, keep pressing, keep going out wide, trying to split the defence with a eye of the needle pass there. It just wasn't on. It's been a very interesting. I don't think you'd been able to pick the scores today around the Premier League. It's been some different results. I would have said.
Manchester United have taken the lead at home to Aston Villa now.
Well, there you go. that's an unexpected result as well.
Yeah, Diallo with the goal. Emi Martinez was sent off at the end of the first half in that game. So Diallo with the goal. I'll have a look at the as it stands table in a moment, because there's going to be a few changes here at Molineux. If I can quickly have a look at my video printer. Aston Villa now have fallen out of the top 5. Newcastle are back in there, and I'm sure there'll be another twist or turn to come. Manchester United 1, Aston Villa 0, Newcastle 0, Everton 1. Here it's 1 apiece Brentford on the attack. We're into the final 5 minutes. Changes still to be made from both managers. Players ready to come on when the ball's next out of play. And Bruno with the cross from the right hand side, and Thiago can't direct his header goalwards. It's a goal kick to Wolves, and here come the changes. First for Wolverhampton Wanderers, and no, Brentford's change will come first. It's Christopher Ayer who comes on to replace Michael Coyote. And Munetsi, the goal scorer, round of applause for him. He's coming off, and Bueno, Uruguayan, is replacing him, and Matt Doherty as well makes way for Bellegarde. So there, the two changes. For Wolves. As Liverpool equalise at home. Mohamed Salah with a goal. Gravenberch has been sent off as well in that game, so Salah with the goal to equal the Premier League record now for goals and assists in a season. 1-1 there, and 1-1 here. Bumo down, Tote Gomez runs through that challenge.
Just a lot more urgency from Wolves here, in this last sort of, this second half especially, but this last sort of 10 minutes, they just seem to be, every time there's a stoppage in play, they're wanting the ball to come in quicker. They're on to the second balls, they're trying to press, they're trying to win things back. I think they feel that they could actually win this game now after getting back into it.
Collins collects, runs away from the edge of his penalty area over the halfway line. It goes to Mbeumo in the sunshine, plays it infield, picked up by Andre. Miscontrolled it first time, foul to Ayer, Norwegian, who's just come on for Brentford, and Strand Larsen nearly got on the end of that backward pass by Ayer. Van den Berg finally got there, sprayed down the left hand side, and Agbadou gets there before Thiago. Attendance today 31,382 at Molineux. Final day of the Premier League season. We'll see a lap of appreciation from the home players at the end of this game. An interesting summer ahead here, Matt. I'll get your thoughts on that in a moment as Lewis Potter heads towards the dead ball line, and Andre defends it well right in the corner of the quadrant, helped out by Semedo, clips it in the direction of the halfway line, well defended by Van den Berg, and he rolls it back to Collins. You're expecting a busy summer here at Molineux, Matt?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's going to be a couple of players that will be leaving, which is probably no surprise. I think Cunha will leave. I think Semedo will leave. So they're going to have to bring in players anyway. They're going to get some money for Cunha, which they're going to hope to reinvest in the squad. But they are going to need some players for sure. There's a big change now. The manager brought in some players in January, which he needed, which has definitely improved the squad and has got them, out of the relegation zone. Some mid-table really, but they're going to be wanting to push on, and he's going to want to bring in his own players again. So yeah, I can expect quite a few changes.
He seems that type as well, doesn't he, Vitor Pereira? He doesn't seem the type who wants to stand still, who want to improve the squad and improve their position.
I don't think he takes any prisoners either. If you're not with him, that's it. You're out, and I don't blame him, to be fair. Managers don't have that much time anymore, so if you're not actually with them on the ride and you're not pulling in your weight, then I'm not surprised that they want to get you out and get rid.
Not missing much at the moment, still one apiece. Yarmolik tries to send the ball into Wolves' penalty area, picked up by João Gomez in front of the arc of the D.
That is an up and under.
Yeah, I didn't know how to describe it. I was just going to say he thunders it forward, but nicely put by Matt Jarvis to my right, and we're about to see a change in goal. This is when you know it's the final day and the clock's ticking down. Tom King is coming on for Jose Sarr.
Replacing number 1, Jose Sarr, is number 40, Tom King.
Making his debut for Wolves, was on the bench against Crystal Palace. This final change of the afternoon made by Vitor Pereira. Van den Berg has to clear from his own penalty area. Out of play it goes, it's a throw-in. Not seen the fourth official as of yet. We're into the 91st minute. 4 minutes of time to play at the end of this final day of the Premier League season. And it's a throw-in for Wolves to our right. Semedo into Strand Larsen inside the penalty area. A little nibble from Yarmolenko. Cunha rolls it back to Totti Gomez. It's got Rodrigo Gomez to his left. Finds it. Gets it back to Totti Gomez. Tries to pull it back for Rodrigo Gomez. Norgard read that really well. Brave defending from him. Goes out to João Gomez now. Nice turn and step over. Tricks his way past two Brentford players. Still controls possession. Thiago goes snapping in. Ball falls kindly to Andre. Andre racing to the edge of the penalty now. Heavy first touch from Strand Larsen. Now to Andre again. Tackles flying in. Bodies all over the place. Cunha with an effort, right-footed. Always climbing and going over the top of the crossbar. I can see Matt Jarvis to my right smiling. That was a good piece of play, but it's a goal kick.
Yeah, it was a good bit of play. You can see what I was smiling at is you see the Wolves manager down here, but he was screaming at his team to go forward and try to attack and try to score. And Gomez does so well on the edge of the box. He uses his strength. He's 1, 2, 3 players he's bouncing off, and the ball ends up with Cunha, who takes a touch, looks up, and there's only one thought in his mind, and that's to strike. And he gets it all wrong. He goes high and wide over the bar, but you know, this is towards the end. The Wolves have definitely stepped it up in this second half. They've much improved, and you can see by the manager he's desperate to win this game. He's shouting and screaming, trying to gee his players up. You know, we've just heard there's 4 minutes left. He's desperate to win this last game of the season.
So what's the latest scores? Manchester United now got a second at home to Aston Villa.
Wow.
With the goal scorer in a moment. Ericsson from the penalty spot there. Still Nottingham Forest 0, Chelsea 1, Newcastle 0, Everton 1, but I think there's going to be a reprieve for Newcastle. Brighton have scored a third at Tottenham. Matt O'Reilly from the penalty spot. Tottenham 1, Brighton 3. Bournemouth have got 2 against Leicester, 2-0 at the Vitality. I'll have a look at the as it stands table as Brentford get set to take this throw-in over on that far side in front of their supporters in the lower tier of the Steve Ball stand. We've played 3 minutes of the 4 of added time. It's one apiece here. Premier League football on 5 Sports Extra 2 from the BBC. Nicely poised this game into the last 60 seconds of Premier League action. Long throw flicked on by Aya. Collins into Wissa, but Tom King launching himself to the ball, rolled it to Semedo, and Bumo gets there. It's another corner down this near side this time as the referee checks his watch. I think this will be the final piece of action, Matt Jarvis.
Yeah, it's good from Tom King just to get his touch. He's really good. Rushed out, got the ball, tried to set Semedo away. And Semedo just couldn't get his touch away, and then Burma's got it back for a corner. This could be the last bit of the game. So could this be the difference? Collins is up from the back. They've got a lot of height here in the box.
It's Bournemouth's 2 goals in the live table. Brentford are now slipping down to 10th on goal difference. Can they grab a winning goal? Corner taken, right-footed, high to the far post. Ayers there, heads it back into the 6-yard box. It's cleared only partially, and now Ayer wins the challenge. But there goes the full-time whistle, and it's ended here at Molineux with the point shared. Wolves 1, Brentford 1. Fair result in the end. And Brian Mbumo with the opening goal in the first half after 20 minutes, his 20th Premier League goal of the season. Both sides had chances, both goalkeepers were called into action, and then with 15 minutes to play, a real thunder of a strike and an equaliser from Marshall Munetsi has shared the points. Matt Jarvis.
Yeah, I'm really pleased for Munetsi. I think he's worked so hard today. He's really put a shift in. He's been instrumental in the way that Wolves have turned the game around in the second half with his runs in behind, his pressing from the front, and then that one bit of quality where he's got that opportunity to have a strike at goal when he's taken it. A really good strike, because as you mentioned in commentary, that could have gone anywhere. It really could, but he's managed to keep his head over his knee, and he's a great strike, foot right into the top corner, Fleckham with no chance.
Brighton have got a fourth now at Tottenham. Arsenal have got a second at Southampton. Will they stay here until the full times come in from the Premier League, and then I'll read you out the final table and we'll see who's ended up in the Champions League places. But fair result in the end.
I think on display first half, yeah, Brentford, yeah, they deserved their lead. They were much more clinical. You know, they tried to dominate possession right from the start, where Wolves kept on giving the ball away, especially on the edge of their box, and they took their goal really nicely. And Burma, you know, nice right-footed shot, empty net, good cutback from Sharda. But then second half, Wolves really progressed. I think, you know, the half-time team talks had a massive effect on them. You know, the positiveness, the reacting to everything, really trying to put that energy into the team, got themselves back in the game with a great strike. And then it was only really Wolves that looked like they wanted to win the game in the end. You know, they were desperate to. The manager was shouting and screaming, telling the players to get forward, to try and get on the end of things. And you know, I think overall a 1-0 is a fair result, but both teams can take real positives from this whole season. You know, Brentford, an exceptional season, really is. You know, I would have loved to have seen them in Europe, because what they've done this year has been exceptional. You know, and Burma, Sharda and Visser, their front three have been, you know, the goals and the assists that they've got has been great. And then you look at Wolves, from Pereira's come in, you know, he's completely galvanised the squad, changed the team, brought in some signings, and they've made the difference. And you know, you look now, the players are going to come around the pitch in a minute with their families and, you know, say goodbye to the Molineux crowd. But there's going to be a few players there that won't be here next year, and they're going to be a big miss. But it's time to rebuild again, and Pereira's he's really going to want to create his own squad, his own team that's going to maximise what he wants to do with this team.
Just a quick word on both teams. Let's start with the home side, Wolves. You just mentioned what you said about Victor Pereira will want to redevelop this squad, change a few players, a few coming in, a few going out. He's made a real impression since he took over, Vitor, in the middle of December, Matt.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's also, the crowd's taken to him, which is massively important. You know, it really has. And I think, you know, results speak for themselves. When you're in the mess, I suppose, that they were in at Christmas, to then turn it round, you know, he's done an exceptional job. But he's only had one transfer, and he's only brought a couple of players in that he's wanted, and they were desperate for. And he's now going to have players that are going to leave. You know, Cunha's well talked about that he might leave. If he leaves, you've got Semedo that I think is going to be leaving as well. So they're two key players for them, really. You know, Cunha with his goals and assists, and the flair that he has going from it, and Semedo, he's captain. You know, he's a leader. He's been there. He's done it. He's played in the highest stage. He's got that experience and quality. So he's going to be desperate to reinvest the money that potentially you get from Cunha and readdress this squad.